Hey everybody, this is Harry coming to you from the city of Live Oak City Cemetery in North Florida, Swanee County, and doing my contribution to A to Z in the Line of Fire, starring Clint Eastwood, directed by German-born director Wolfgang Peterson. Also starring John Malkovich, who played a wonderful part in this film. Very evil. Rene Russo also stars in as love interest. Dylan McDermott, Fred Thompson, John Mahoney, and John Hurd is also in the film. Uh, and it's the film. Clint Eastwood and John Malkovich play cat and mouse with each other. Clint Eastwood is a Secret Service agent, an older one who was on the presidential detail of JFK when he was assassinated in Dallas, and he felt guilt for that he wasn't able to save the president. He became an alcoholic, distanced himself from his family. His family left him, and he wound up not doing presidential duty anymore, presidential protective detail, and so now he's just doing what the Secret Service does, like with the Treasury, because they're part of the Treasury Department, looking for counterfeit bills and such like that, mundane, important stuff. So, having John Malkovich starts calling him, knows stuff about him, which Clint Eastwood's character is Frank Horgan, and John Malkovich is Mitch Leary in the film. And Mitch calls Frank and taunts him, calls himself Booth, and tells him he was going to, what he was planning on doing. He was going to assassinate the president, but he knew that Eastwood wasn't there, or Horgan wasn't there to protect, protect JFK. He shouldn't protect him and didn't. And so he's trying to get at his nerve. And this goes on throughout the movie. And of course, when I watch this, I always think Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry, and he kind of plays the Dirty Harry role in this film. To me, anyways, a lot of it, like especially when he deals with authority, people who are above him. There's always a conflict, and if you remember from the Dirty Harry movies, that always seems to be an issue. But that's what I enjoy about Clint Eastwood, because it's like that in a lot of films. Like a lot of people say, well, John Wayne played John Wayne in every film. He never deviated. He always the same. But that's the charm of it, But it's not necessarily true in these films. But in this one, it kind of does remind me of Dirty Harry. So it's a long movie. It's a little over 2 hours long. But it's a very good movie. Very, very, very good movie. I enjoyed it. The tension in the film. I've seen it several times over the years. And I watched it again last week. And I still get the same, especially watching John Malkovich. This is where I think I became a fan of John Malkovich, was during this film. He plays Mitch, who is kind of a little psychotic. He went rogue. He's an assassin who kind of went rogue, and now he wants to kill the president. And so Clint Eastwood's trying to stop him, trap him, and all this. And but the mind games he plays and how he gets angry. I mean, just, the evil in him. I don't know. It's just, I liked it. It's just like, I like Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's another actor I like, who I seen him in Air Force One, and I just, like, oh man, this guy's great. Plays good bad guys. And John Malkovich sure enough does in this film. And that's probably why he was nominated for a Best Supporting Actor award for this, for the Academy Awards for 1993. What else I could say? Well, to give a little bit of information, I looked up Wolfgang Peterson because I know I've seen films of his before, but old age and kind of forget a lot of stuff. but he had also directed Das Boot, The Never Ending Story, Air Force One, The Perfect Storm, all those films in the early 90s and 80s. So he's done really good films, or decent films. And let's see here. The film received great reviews. I'm sorry, I'm like really bad at this. This is the fourth time I tried this. I mean, this will be the final time today. Anyways, the film was filmed in Washington D.C. I wrote notes. Okay, this time try to remember. I'm trying not to look at them, but oh well. In my professional, no. So, anyways, it was filmed in Washington D.C. on location. A lot of the interiors were shot. Some of the interiors, like of the White House and stuff, were done in studio. When they were out on the campaign trail, the president, the actor playing president, was digitally put in. So was Clint Eastwood on a lot of them. You can actually, I've seen it now when they had the Blu-ray. Watching it on there, I could see, how they digitally put them in there, where I'd never noticed it on VHS or DVD before. But they were actually campaign events for George H.W. Bush at the time he was running for president, and Bill Clinton, Governor Bill Clinton at the time. They were running for president, so they kind of put their faces, the actors' faces, over them in that film, and then Secret Service agents. Also, they digitally put a younger Clint Eastwood, probably from the Rawhide days, onto the head of one of the Secret Service agents in the old photograph from Dallas, from the JFK, which you can see in there, which I thought was pretty neat at the time. Around that time, Forrest Gump did a lot of that digital stuff. The film received great reviews. I won't say the Rotten Tomato thing, I didn't write it down, but it had a budget of $40 million, and it grossed $176 billion, or $1,997,168 at the box office, which I went to Mojo, Box Office Mojo, and for 1993 it was ranked. It was the 7th highest film of that year. At number one. Now I'll give you the name of the films that were before it. Number one was Jurassic Park. These were the films that was out that year. Mrs. Doubtfire, The Fugitive, The Firm, Sleepless in Seattle, Indecent Proposal. A lot of people remember that one. And then to round out that list, they beat out The Pelican Brief, Schindler's List, and Cliffhanger at the box office. So this movie actually did better than Schindler's List at the box office at that time. I recommend this film if you haven't seen it. It's a really good film. It's like I said, it's a little slow pacing at times, and if you don't mind Clint Eastwood being Dirty Harry, sort of, in the film, being an older Secret Serviceman, the little sly remarks and stuff like that. That's the Eastwood trademark, just like Stallone has his and Schwarzenegger has his own stuff. I would highly recommend it. It is on Blu-ray, it's on DVD, and in streaming where available. And I was trying to think of what else to say about it. That it is. I mean, the other thing is just that John Malkovich, like I said, in this film plays really a badass. In this film, plays a lot of mind games, and he's really creepy. Sometimes he's a little bit creepy. But hell, man, this was the start of the beginning for him. Not his first film, but kind of he moved on up and after this. I remember him in Dangerous Liaisons in the 80s. He was very, very young. So, anyways, that's my boring rambling. I've been Line of Fire. Clint Eastwood. Watch it. Buy it, rent it, whatever you got to do. Watch it. It's a good film. Good action film from the 90s. An era which I barely remember because of so many things in my life going bad. But with deaths, my wife's wife and my mother and my father passed away out in the '90s. I don't remember much about, but I do remember this one. Thank you for watching. Comment as usual, and I'll talk to you later.